Calgary has doubled in size in the last 30 years. So with Alberta growing so quickly and Calgary growing so quickly over the last 30 years, government has not really kept up with the funding levels that we would anticipate they would to maintain those facilities. So we're behind the curve of the wave, where our facilities are aging out, more than 50 years old, the bulk of them. Half of our facilities are more than 50 years old, and we need to come up with that maintenance plan to ensure that those facilities will be able to continue to operate as time goes on. Well, what happened 2 years ago is the government announced $4 billion of capital construction, and of that $4 billion of capital construction, that included 197 new schools across the province of Alberta, of which we received money for about 28 schools. So what happened is we took all those schools on and we started construction. One of the big things that happens in our lead times for construction is we have a hard deadline. So we have to ensure that we are able to open these schools up for the first part of September when the school year starts up, because we can't just say, oh, too bad, school's delayed, you guys get a couple extra weeks of summer holiday. We wanted to make sure that we got into the ground, all of our announcements come, and usually it's around March that we actually get the go-ahead and we get cash so we can actually start our construction programs that have to be wound up in just about 18 months from March, where we can actually have occupancy of our schools. So this involved connecting a lot of dots and getting a lot of different entities and external entities available together. What we really needed to do with project management was take all of the disparate spreadsheets and all of the disparate information that was siloed in the different areas, service units within the Calgary Board of Education, and start to consolidate that as a single source of truth. Previously, we would have accounting would tell us, this is how much money you're spending on your capital construction. We would have a different number in capital planning and development. IT would have a different number for all of the infrastructure pieces that they were putting in. Alberta Infrastructure had a different number. There was no single source of truth because we had all these different disparate business processes going on. So what we did was we consolidated all of that into the ARCHIBUS Project Management module to track all of our financial reporting, all of our financial commitments. And the nice thing about it being in ARCHIBUS is that it was available across the entire organization through Web Central. So all of the key decision makers were able to go in and get those reports that they needed to monitor cash flow, construction project status, and so forth, all through ARCHIBUS. But when we start looking at all of the different components, that all of a sudden, instead of 5 buildings that we're building and commissioning and doing the furniture and equipment fit up, we're now doing 25 buildings all at once. That's 5 times the amount of internal effort that we would need to do. So we had to ensure that as part of our project strategies that we managed through project management in ARCHIBUS, that we had everybody lined up. We had to make sure that we had all of the FF&E guys for furniture coming in. We had to make sure that we had all of the scheduling and detailed scheduling that was done for our IT cousins to come in and ensure that they had all of the electronic equipment in there, so that when we opened the schools and we took possession of them, that we were ready to roll for education on day one. So what we ended up doing is we put spaces for another 17,000 bums in seats in classrooms in the number of 23 different schools, and we've got 7 more schools that we're developing. These were all greenfield site developments except for 2, and this last one is Elbow Park School. That was one of our schools that was lost to a flood. So we've rebuilt that completely. So what we can take away from this is, if we keep to our vision and we know the through line towards all of our goals, we can always build on success and we can deliver the impossible, which was $450 million of capital construction, plus another $38 million of FF&E fit up to deliver 17,000 new seats for new students in the Calgary Board of Education. Thank you very much.